Okay, so I mean, we can pretty much. I think we can just. Nah, you know what? We should wait because it's still like 5 minutes, right? Something like that. Yeah, we still got 5 minutes. We'll wait for people to like walk in.
Tell us story.
Sorry, there's a name called Virgin. We don't know what that is, but for virgins of this panel, what is this panel done?
Okay, this panel is to teach you how not to be a virgin anymore. That sounded really bad.
It goes with the lines of code.
Yeah, it does, really. So no, what this is a panel, actually not as much about us as much as about you guys, and it's movies everyone disagrees with you on. And here's the thing, even though I play a character called the Nostalgia Critic, and we are kind of
That's a character?
or even just lovers, you know, there's always this thought that it's like, well, if you don't like this movie, you don't love movies, you know nothing about movies.
And that's true, right?
Right, yeah, that's a
Do the glasses thing again, Doug.
Do the what? The glasses thing. Or vice versa. It's like, well, you have to hate this because only sophisticated people like, you know, or dislike this kind of stuff.
Oh, you and I are going to be friends.
But you're brothers.
Well, hence why we're not friends. But the big thing about it, I discovered at least, is that really what people are trying to do is that they're trying to share different points of view and different outcomes, but we kind of got lost into right or wrong, and there is no right.
It's called the internet, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's, I like this movie. You are wrong. You can't be wrong on an opinion. It's like,
But the funny meme says I'm right.
Oh my God, right? That pretty much summarizes the entire internet today.
You can look at the Mona Lisa and you can say, wow, I see something really, intriguing in her eyes. No, you don't. No, you see her and smile. You don't I really see in her eyes. No, you don't.
I like the Mona Lisa before it became popular.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I really like chocolate ice cream. No, you don't. You like vanilla.
I like chocolate.
Yeah, no. Vanilla.
Screw you both. Mint chocolate chip.
Wow, there's like mint chocolate chip groupies out there.
You reminded me of like the best, and I don't pay attention to memes, I really don't, but the best meme that I've ever seen ever was, this last Anime Expo, Sailor Moon was, they announced Sailor Moon, and then Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods came out, and there was this meme that I saw of, it said, Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon at Anime Expo, and then it showed a picture of Robin Williams from Jumanji, and it says, what year is it?
Robin Williams.
Yes, rest in peace, Robin Williams. We love you.
But no, there's
Let's
always
make this happy again, okay?
but there's always this thing that it's like it's right or wrong, and it's not. And what I've discovered is that if I go up to someone, even if I totally disagree on a movie with this person, I love hearing why they disagree. And what I discovered, you can find out a lot about that person by just sharing instead of shoving in a person's face. Instead of demanding a response, ask why, and have them share. You can find all these really cool things. So what I usually do to start off is I always reveal a movie that either I like it and everyone else hates, or I hate it and everybody else likes, and we each do one, and then we kind of open it up to you guys, and you say a film everyone disagrees with you on, and why you enjoy it or why you dislike it, and you just sort of discover stuff. It's like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and one of the scenes that we really liked was the where they're sliding down the mountain.
That was one of the best action scenes I've seen in a movie.
No, but something you said, I think, really nailed it. After it was all done, you said, that was stupid. That was stupid in all the right ways.
Yeah.
And I think something like Lone Ranger is probably the same. Like, it's dumb. It's idiotic. It makes no sense. But it's in all the right ways that pleases you. It's like, this is the right kind of dumb I was looking for. I didn't want to think too much. I just wanted to go in, have some fun, but not insultingly stupid, just the right amount of fun stupid. So, yeah, and that's going to be different for, everybody. If somebody said Guardians of the Galaxy, like, that was so dumb and idiotic and I hated it, it's like, we would say the same thing, just replace the last part with love it.
No, it's totally true. I know how some people can or don't like that movie. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, because it's stupid, but it's so wonderfully stupid.
Yeah. So, a lot of it comes from my connection to the Ninja Turtles growing up. So if you love something, you know, because you grew up with it, and it brings back these memories and these emotions, and you have that connection, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it is important to know that, like, again, you're going to recommend it or sort of know the difference between, I know this isn't really good, but I just have that connection with it. You know, it's important to know the difference.
And it's true. They're not the worst thing ever. Like when I've watched all three of those films again recently, I'll say this: Phantom Menace as a movie aimed at 5-year-olds is completely fine. Like, I'm like, okay, this is a kid's movie. This is meant for ages 5 to 10.
It's boring kids.
Yeah. And you know, Revenge of the Sith was the closest thing to an actual Star Wars movie we got, you know, out of that set, and I thought it was okay. The only one that to me is a complete and total fail is Attack of the Clones. I mean, that one fails on every level. It's not interesting, it's boring, the romance is, oh my god. I hate sand, pure like water, screw sand. Like, don't look at me like that, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Mind if I strut around in leather? I mean, it was just terrible. That one I'm like, it doesn't work as a kid's film, it doesn't work as a romance. It's not a particularly great action movie until the last like 15 minutes of it. So, but yeah, the other two I'm like, they're not the worst thing on the planet. There have been way worse films, and we've reviewed most of them.
Yeah, so you're definitely not alone.
No! Oh, is it my turn?
So now what did you, I think I know what the answer is, but what did you enjoy about the film?
Someone who just doesn't want 5 seconds of fame.
Like the movie or not, we can all agree that we love Bumblebee, right? We all love Bumblebee.
There's one guy in the front row just like, no.
F that guy. They are getting better. By the 12th film, we may actually have a good movie.
So you like how, sit down. So you like how it was much more like I think for me, like, I can never follow the plot, I don't really care that much, but you really listen to the plot and you say, okay, like, this is kind of similar to the plots like in the cartoons, and that's like what you were looking for in the Transformer movie, pretty much. So, no, that's really cool, that's definitely very cool.
Countries and how it's affecting the dollar.
Tell me more!
Started on this stuff?
More importantly, how to dress up like a jackass and make money off of it.
Yeah!
Something we know quite a deal about, and something you all do too.
Something none of you guys should know anything about. Shut up, Meg. I feel so bad anybody dressed up like Meg, that's the first thing I do when I see them.
Yeah, just like a brief, like, just like, you know, hey, how you doing? Shut up, Meg. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Who's the purple minion, by the way? That's amazing.
I saw that earlier and I was like, wow, hardcore, dude.
Well, we still got a bit until the panel officially starts, so we're gonna wait to show the clip. And we don't want
We're
to
gonna sit here in silence.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it.
It wasn't for Talk more about economics.
I honestly don't know a thing about economics. That was
Oh.
silence. I know I like
Silence!
I'd like to be here to it.
I'm leaving.
If you could get it, that'd be great. Make the remote jump in the air, it's really great.
Men of Steel review when how it should have ended popped up. It's really cool. So did you contact them or did they, how did that
We chloroformed them.
And yeah, everything worked out after that. They were a lovely pair. No, I met them at VidCon. I actually met a few people at VidCon, and they were one of them, and we just talked and got along really well. And they knew who I was because I guess on my top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments, I referenced them, and they said they got a ton of emails, people saying, "Hey, Nostalgia Critic, go see tomorrow." It's like, oh, okay, who's Nostalgia Critic? So they knew who I was, and we talked, and we got along, and I was just like, would you guys be down for this idea? Because I actually have Superman and Batman in this Man of Steel video. Would you be down for just doing a quick little animation? And they just sent me the animation against a green screen so I could put it in anywhere. But they did like close-ups and far away and gave me all these great angles. And yeah, they were just great and so nice. So it worked out really great. They were like super, super cool.
Okay, thanks so much.
Absolutely, no problem.
Hello.
I actually have 2 questions.
Go for it.
gotten a request to do a video that you and the Nostalgia Critic differed on in terms of he hated it and you didn't?
I'm sure, like early on, I did that a lot more. Sort of later, I got a bit more honest about them. But I'm trying to think. Oh no, you know what? The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, actually, for as stupid as it is, I think Sally Gannon was Batman. I actually kind of like how stupid it
You're
is.
talking about the afternoon one or the Saturday morning?
The stupid one. The one that was obviously stupid, probably meant to be stupid.
So not the Saturday morning.
Yeah, correct. The Saturday is like a really good one. Like that's well put together a lot of times. Where I mean, like the other one is definitely like we're just being idiots, we're being silly, and it's like, but I think they knew that we're just having fun with it. I actually love that joke. I'm over there, and the guy. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's so nonsensical. And but now the critics like, what the hell was that? Blah blah blah. So I actually thought that joke was really funny.
And who doesn't love chili dog?
And a question for Rob.
Go on.
Where did the inspiration come for the Velociraptor head? Because that thing is funny.
How the hell were we smoking?
It was. I can actually tell you exactly where I came from.
I forgot.
Well, it was from the My Pet Monster review, where it's like the sister walks in, sees the brother's a monster, he's just reading a paper, he's like, what? And it's like she has no reaction, he has no reaction. I was like, oh, come on, okay, this is take two, but still, like, you know, no reaction at all. So I just went in where I go in, I see Rob, and just his head's turned into a dinosaur. It's like, what? I'm a dinosaur. Or what is it? Oh, yeah, sorry. What's that?
Is that his first appearance in a video? Is the Velociraptor head?
Yeah, that was the first one. And then that was
the doctor restraining you with the bad credit
Oh,
card.
no, he's not about as the dinosaur head.
Oh, as the dinosaur.
Yeah,
that was my
yeah.
first appearance as the dinosaur head. Numerous appearances.
But no, then the reason was, but the way I came up with it is that a girlfriend I had, her brother was just being silly, and I come in one day, and she's like, turn around. Like, what? It's like, turn around. I turn around, I wait 5 seconds, like, okay, turn back. I turn back, it just had the mask on. And it just made me piss myself with laughter, because it was just, it's a really good gag.
And it's the same mask. We held on to that mask.
I stole it from because I'm like, this is too funny, I'm gonna need this for something, so.
Thanks to Santa Christ, my list is in the mail.
I don't know where to go with that.
Hello? You might remember me from last year.
Okay, hi.
I have a couple questions one for you, Rob, which is kind of more of a praise question for yourself, and for Doug. The first one goes to Doug. What do you think if you were ever to do the DC anime universe in a nutshell, how would you do it?
The DC
animated with Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
I haven't seen that many of them. I hear they're good. There's something about like when they keep changing them up and everything, and I get why they're always trying to see like, oh, what'll catch on, or what's the new style, or here's all these different versions. But I don't know, if it was like the animated series Batman the whole time, I'd probably be more open to it.
Well, what I was saying, each series itself, like as a whole, what would you?
Oh, you mean like the Justice League and Batman and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
oh, each time.
I think I only got up to like the 4th season of Batman. I never really watched much of Batman Begins. I never really watched much of Justice League. It just wasn't my... I'm sorry, Batman.
And by the way, critic, the worst thing that happened, I just saw Ben Affleck with a back credit card.
I'm going to email you my frustration.
That was inventive for me. Now, Rob.
Yes.
I actually want to praise you.
Step away a little bit from my...
I want to praise you for your camera work on the first series and with the current one, and to the critic himself. You guys have done a great job. You really have done something unique. I love the new format, but and I like to return to the old format points because sometimes it has to work, sometimes it hasn't. There are ideas you can throw for the third series and for that series, that part of the series with Tamara and Malcolm, and I love those two. They are hysterical. They work very well together, and you work well with all of them in the same room. It just makes everything more funny. And of course, I'm going to also say this bluntly.
We need the clip note version because there is a long line behind you, just so you know.
All right. And for the sake of it, Rob, you are Santa Christ.
I would hope so. Lord only knows there could be only one.
I actually agree. I do think those movies are overhated.
Yeah, I will say, like, if you
Now
want,
that we've seen them.
again, if you want to know our views on the Turtles, wait for Tuesday, we'll go into that. But for the Transformers, there's a really great college humor sketch. They've done a few styles like this. One is like our ruined childhoods or something like that. And it shows these guys like, can you believe Michael Bay's doing Ninja Turtle? Oh my God, that has ruined my childhood. My childhood is ruined and stuff. And it shows another guy in the bar is just like, I was a prisoner in a Vietnam camp. And I remember when I was just a little boy, they dragged me out and my father was killed. That was when they killed my childhood as well. And I get back to, oh my God, Security's remaking Thundercats 2. Oh, they killed my childhood. Like, and it's cutting back to like real people that have lost their childhoods like through tragic things, and then like just dumbass teens are just like, oh my God, a Transformers 5. So I mean, it's always one of those things where
Don't see it. I don't get why
we have to see it.
I'm like, obviously, somebody out there is seeing it because they keep making money, and yet everybody complains about it. I'm like, well, here's an idea. Why don't you just don't go see it?
And I think that the critic is a character, is sort of an extension of what I really think. But honestly, like, if you like whatever, Transformers or Turtles, whatever, it's like, go ahead. I mean, I don't care. It's fun to talk about and compare and contrast. But no, in terms of like destroying childhood and stuff, I'm kind of with you. I think they're overhated. And honestly, now with movies.
By the way, we're not saying they're good. Right?
Yeah, oh, no,
that is not an endorsement for them, but like, they're not the worst things ever.
But I would say that people kind of forget, there was a time, I want to say it kind of started with like Batman and Robin and went up to maybe like Armageddon or a little past that, like where there was just a good 5 or 6 years where summer movies especially, there were just no good movies at all. I mean, they were all like terrible
We had
films.
some dud summers.
Yeah, and I think like now it's like, okay, we get our Michael Bays and we get our Twilights and 50 Shades and stuff, but it's like most of the movies coming out now are so much better than what we had for those like 5, 6 years, and so much of TV too. I mean, TV has really stepped up its game out of nowhere and gotten really, really good, and now there's like 12 shows I'm watching, like vlogs and shit.
Well,
Like
the thing is, those dud summers, like, they weren't big money-making summers, and people today are so much like, oh, these movies are so bad, they're terrible. But they're making a ton of money, which means you're seeing them anyway.
Yeah, so
stop complaining about things, if you don't want to see it.
yeah, the reboot thing is getting old, but at the same time, a lot of them are kind of well done. The Marvel movies are well done, and there's a lot of stuff that's legitimately good. So I kind of agree. Yes, I think they're a little overrated. Kind of. Some people were saying with the Ninja Turtles one, like, it's kind of like what the nerd does, because not too many people were doing the angry reviewer then. And some people were bringing it up. I was like, this might be funny if like a little fight came out of this. So I did the little taunting video, and he caught wind of it, and he was like, no, this is funny. I don't know if I want to go along, because it might get people too angry, but it's kind of a funny idea. And so I did another one, and it got people even more like, this should happen, and it's like, yeah, okay, let's try this. This could be funny.
We went to Philly to film with him. We found out he's just nice, soft-spoken guy.
So yeah, there you go.
I like